science provides models for information processing.
Uh,
Linguistics explores how language shapes thought. It's like piecing together a giant puzzle,
wow.
with experts from all these different fields bringing their own unique pieces to the table.
Wow. Okay, so it's not just psychologists huddled in labs staring at brain scans.
Nope.
This is way more multifaceted than I thought.
Exactly. And this multifaceted approach is crucial because understanding how these different levels of analysis work together, well, that's how we begin to unlock the secrets of the mind.
Okay, so we've got this black box and this whole team of experts from different fields trying to figure it out.
Right.
But why go through all that trouble?
Right.
Why does understanding this black box, this thinking process, actually matter in the real world?
Oh, it matters because it impacts literally everything we do.
Yeah.
How we learn, solve problems, make decisions, even how we experience the world around us.
Wow.
It's all filtered through this black box.
Okay.
Let's take the example of memory.
Okay.
We use it constantly, but how often do we stop to think about how it actually works?
Honestly, never. I just expect it to,
Right.
work
Yeah.
until it doesn't, and I'm frantically searching for my keys for the 100th time.
Exactly. And that's where understanding the cognitive processes behind memory becomes crucial.
Okay.
Cognitive science has helped us understand that memory isn't just one thing. It's a complex system with different types of memory,
Okay.
each with its own strengths and limitations.
Yeah.
There's short-term memory, long-term memory, working memory.
Oh, right. Like that whole short-term memory is like RAM thing.
Yes.
Exactly.
I remember hearing that somewhere.
So by understanding these different types of memory and how they interact,
Yeah.
cognitive scientists have been able to develop techniques to improve memory and learning.
Really?
Yes. Techniques like spaced repetition, active recall,
Wow.
and even simply getting enough sleep.
Okay.
These are all rooted in cognitive science principles.
So it's not just about understanding why I can remember useless trivia but forget where I parked my car.
Right.
There are actual practical applications to this knowledge.
Absolutely. Take the field of education, for example.
By understanding how the brain learns most effectively, educators can design better curricula, teaching methods, and learning environments.
Okay.
Imagine a classroom where teaching is tailored to the way our brains are naturally wired to learn.
That would make those all-nighters cramming for exams a thing of the past.
Yeah, hopefully.
What?
And it's not just education.
Right.
Cognitive science has made significant contributions to fields like artificial intelligence, human-computer interaction,
Wow.
even economics and marketing.
Wow. Okay, so we're talking about a field that's not just about understanding the mind in isolation,
Yeah,
but also about applying that understanding to real-world problems,
Exactly.
creating solutions.
and that's what makes it so exciting. It's a field with the potential to not only advance our understanding of ourselves, but also to improve our lives in tangible ways.
Okay, I'm definitely starting to see why this black box is worth cracking open.
Good.
But how do we even begin to study something as complex and elusive as the mind?
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like we can just ask our brains to spill their secrets.
you're right. It's not that simple. We can't just peer inside the black box directly.
Yeah.
Instead, we have to be clever
Okay.
and use a variety of methods to infer what's going on inside
Okay.
based on observable behaviors and brain activity.
So, like, if you ask me to remember a list of words
Okay.
and then observe which ones I recall correctly,
Yes.
that tells you something about how my memory works.
Precisely. That's an example of a classic memory experiment.
Oh, cool.
By carefully designing these experiments and analyzing the data,
Oh, okay.
we can start to piece together a picture of how different cognitive processes operate.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
It's like we're playing a giant game of Clue with the brain, but instead of Colonel Mustard in the library with a candlestick,
Yeah.
it's neurons firing in the hippocampus with a burst of gamma waves.
I like the way you think. You're right. There's a certain element of detective work involved.
Right.
And just like any good detective,
Yeah.
cognitive scientists rely on a variety of tools and techniques
Okay.
to gather evidence and solve the mystery.
So we've got our experiments, but what about those brain scans I always hear about?
Yeah,
Do those play a role in this cognitive detective work?
absolutely. Brain imaging techniques like fMRI and EEG allow us to observe brain activity in real time while people perform different cognitive tasks.
Really?
This gives us a glimpse into which brain regions are involved in different mental processes.
So if you show me a picture of a puppy while I'm hooked up to one of these brain scanners, what happens?
You'll likely see activity in areas associated with emotion, like the amygdala, as well as visual processing areas like the occipital lobe.
And if you show me a picture of a spider...
Well, we might see a slightly different pattern of activation depending on your personal feelings towards spiders.
Let's stick with puppies for now.
Jekylls, okay.
So by combining these brain imaging techniques with clever experiment, cognitive scientists can start to map out the brain and figure out which parts do what.
Exactly. And the more we learn, the more we realize how interconnected everything is.
Okay.
It's not like there's a single memory center or a language module. Instead, different brain regions work together in complex networks to give rise to our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors.
Wow. Okay, this is way more intricate than I ever imagined.
It is fascinating.
But this network idea, that actually makes a lot of sense.
It does.
Like, even when I'm doing something as simple as having a conversation, I'm using so many different cognitive skills at once.
You are,
Language, memory, attention, even social cues.
Absolutely, all working together.
It's amazing.
It is. It's incredible.
So it's not just about understanding the individual pieces of the puzzle,
but
also how those pieces fit together
to
create the bigger picture of the human mind.
Precisely. And that's what makes cognitive science such a challenging yet incredibly rewarding field to be a part of.
This is blowing my mind a little bit, to be honest.
It is pretty amazing stuff.
It's like realizing the world is just information, constantly being processed and interpreted by these incredible, complex brains we carry around.
It really is remarkable.
It is.
And the more we understand about these processes, the more we can start to influence them.
Okay.
Remember that black box analogy?
Yeah.
Well, imagine being able to not just peek inside, but actually tweak the controls a bit.
Wait, are you saying we can actually hack our own thinking?
Well,
I mean, I know meditation apps claim to do that. But is there real science behind that idea?
There's definitely some truth to it. Every time you learn a new skill, adopt a new habit, or even challenge a limiting belief, you're essentially rewiring those neural networks inside your head. Cognitive behavioral therapy, for instance, is rooted in the idea that we can change our thoughts and behaviors by understanding and modifying the underlying cognitive processes.
So it's not just about understanding how our brains work on autopilot,
Right.
but also about actively shaping how they work in the future?
Exactly.
That's kind of empowering.
It is. And it's one of the most exciting frontiers in cognitive science.
Really?
Imagine the possibilities if we could harness the power of our minds to enhance learning, boost creativity, and improve mental well-being.
That would be, I mean, that would be game-changing, to say the least.
It would be incredible.
So after this deep dive, I feel like I've gone from thinking of my brain as this mysterious black box to this incredibly powerful, adaptable organ with so much untapped potential.
That's exactly the shift in perspective we hope to inspire.
It's really cool.
Cognitive science is a constantly evolving field with new discoveries emerging all the time.
That's exciting.
The more we learn, the more we realize how much there is still to discover.
Well, I, for one, am completely hooked.
Good.
This deep dive has given me so much to think about.
Oh, cool.
Or maybe I should say so much for my black box to process.
There you go.
Thanks for taking me along on this journey.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Words that flow like rivers do. Learn a language, join the crew. Every lesson something new. Lengua Viva here for you.
Grammar rules and vocab tight. Practice every day and night. Conversations feeling right. Change your world with words so bright.
Lengua Viva, take a chance.